So after yesterday's lessons, I thought to myself, it's as bad as it can possibly go. Made a load of mistakes. Well, quite a few mistakes anyway. Today will be a new day. I sit down to do my lesson, get the whiteboard, lost the whiteboard pen. The only whiteboard pen I have. So, I'm now going to try and teach you maths without a whiteboard or a whiteboard pen. You're going to need to use your imagination while Amazon delivers me some more. They'll be here by tomorrow. Let's get started. So, we're going to be looking today at percentages, and we're going to be comparing percentages to fractions and decimals. So, let's just move on to here. Now we're going to start like we did yesterday with our Who is the Imposter? I have checked through them today and can guarantee you there are only 2 imposters. Yesterday I think there was a third one because it said 40 times 30 was 120 when it was actually 1,200. So have a look here, see if you can identify the 2 imposters. Pause the video now. Okay, well let's have a look through them. So we're going to start by eliminating the ones that we know for definite are correct. So I'm going to have a little glance through and I can see straight away that this one is easy. 6 times 6 is 36. So we know that one is fine. Let me just have a look through the rest. That one up there is nice and easy. 100 divided by 5 is 20 because we know that 20 times 5 is 100. So that's absolutely fine as well. Let's keep going. Okay, so the next one here, we've got partitioning of place value. It says 430,010 equals 400,000, add 30,000, add 10, which is completely correct. So now we start to look at the rest. Let's start with this one here. 2/7 add 6/7 equals 8/7. Well, that's correct. 8/7 is equal to 1 and 1/7. That's correct too. This one here, 5 cubed equals 125. Remember, when you cube a number, you times it by itself and then by itself again. So you would do 5 times 5, which is 25. You take the 25 and times that by 5, which is 125. This one here, whatever is inside the brackets, you do first. So we do 32 divided by 8, which is 4. And then we add it to the 40, which is 44. So that's correct too. We've not got many left now. Let's have a look at this one. 126 divided by 6. I can tell you that one is wrong. I would show you it on my whiteboard. Unfortunately, that's not going to be possible. The answer is 21. So the first imposter is the orange one here. Now we move on to this one here. 1,234 add 5,678. That one is the other imposter, and I'm hoping you have got the correct answer on your screen. The final 2 here, 307 divided by 7, well, is 307, because if you divide anything by 1, it stays the same. And 96 divided by 6 is 16. So the 2 imposters, orange and I guess you'd call that brown. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at decimals, fractions, and we're going to be bringing in percentages. Now, percentages are no more difficult than any of the other 2. In fact, they're probably easier. Once you understand decimals, percentages come really easily. So have a look here at the 4 different representations. One of them is the odd one out. Can you tell me which one, please? Pause the video now. Okay, so James is saying 67 out of 100, so we've got 67. Yasmin is saying 67%, well, percent is out of 100, so 67% is the same as 67 out of 100. Chen says 76 out of 100. Ruth says 0.67. Well, 0.67 is the same as 67%, which is the same as 67 out of 100. When you have a decimal, it's out of 100 as well. So it's 0.67 out of 1.00. 67% is also out of 100. So if it's 0.67, that is equal to 67%. If it's 0.35, it would be 35%, and so on. So let's have a look at this one here. It says use a B string, but don't worry, you don't need to. We have 0.3. Now, we need to remember that 0.3 is actually 0.30. We have a 0 at the end here that we can't see. It's a placeholder. So it's 0.30. That would be the same as 30 over 100. 0.3 becomes 0.30. That's the same as 30 over 100, which is the same as 3 over 10. And that is equal to 30%. So to find a percentage, the easiest way to do it is to make it a fraction over 100. If you have a fraction, make it so it's over 100. If you have a decimal, it's already done for you. The thing you need to watch out for is you could have put that as 3%. You need to remember it has a placeholder. So have a look at this one then. Remember what I just said about that placeholder. Can you have a go at writing down what that would be? What would it be over 10? And what would the percentage be? Okay, so 0.1 is the same as 10 over 100, because we have that placeholder, which would cancel down to 1 over 10, and that would be equal to 10%. 10 over 100 becomes 1 over 10, becomes 10%. Okay, so a slightly different one here then. 0.25 would be what over 100? It would be 25 over 100. Now we could cancel that down to 1 over 4. It's the same as a quarter. 25 over 100, we take the numerator. That tells us the decimal and the percentage. Notice how they're the same. The numerator over 100 gives us the decimal and it gives us the percentage. Okay, have a go at this one then. Remember the placeholder. So we've got 0.2, which is the same as 20 over 100. That cancels down to 1 over 5, which is the same as 20%. Numerator over 100 gives us the decimal with a placeholder, and it gives us the percentage. All right, activity 1 then is for all groups. So what I'd like you to do is take this decimal, give it to me over 100. Then, if you can, cancel it down to a smaller fraction, and then give it to me as a percentage. Pause the video now. Okay. Here we are then. We have 50 over 100, which is the same as a half, and that gives us 50%. 75 over 100 is the same as 3/4, which gives us 75%. And 60 over 100 is the same as 3/5, which gives us 60%. So this time, we're looking at it slightly differently because we have a percentage wall, and this shows us the relationship between fractions and percentages. So if you had from here all the way to here, that's one whole. So halfway, we've got 50% and we've got 50%, splitting it into 2. So 1/2, we've got 2 bits, and we want one of them. So 1 out of 2 would be 50%. The next one here, we're looking for somewhere where we have 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we want 3 of them. 25, 50, 75. So the answer would be 75%. For the next one, 3/5, we're looking for a part where we have 5 different parts to it. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we want 3 of them. 20, 40, 60. So the answer is 60%. And the final one here, we're looking for 10 parts and we want 3 of them. So we have the 10 parts at the bottom and we want 3, so 10, 20, 30. 30% there. Activity 2 then, aimed at all groups, using the fraction wall, or if you just know how to convert it, you can do it that way. Can you have a go at converting these fractions into percentages like I just did? Pause the video now. Okay, so the first one is 9 out of 10. So we're looking for those 10 parts. Well, the 10 parts are here and we want 9 of them. So if we count along, we could go 10, 20, 30, 40, and we would get to 90%. The next one is 25%, 80%, and 70%. All right, for this one then we're moving on slightly. We're looking at a grid. Now on this grid I can tell you there are 100 squares. You can count them if you like, or you can just take my word for it, but I promise you there are 100 squares. And we're looking at how many of them are shaded in pink. So for this one, there are 10 shaded in pink. 10 out of 100. Where would that be on my number line at the bottom? Well, these count up in 10%. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. We've got 10 out of 100, so our arrow would go there, onto the 10%. Have a look at this one then. Where do you think the arrow is going to go? So I can see that 90 out of 100 are shaded in. So my arrow is going to go right next to the 90%. This one here, pause the video, what do you think it's going to be? So this one would be 80% because 80 is shaded in. Okay, so this time it's changed a bit. We've not got a grid out of 100 this time. The first thing we need to do is work out how many parts we've got. So let's start here and count round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have got 10 parts. How many of them are shaded in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are shaded in. So we've got 7 out of 10. How many parts have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got 10 as well. 7 out of 10 here. We need to find 7 out of 10 here. The answer to that would be 70%. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of 10. This one here, again, it's still out of 10. Where do you think it's going to go? Work out how many are shaded in. So hopefully you see that there are 3, which is the same as 3 out of 10. And that would be shown here, 10, 20, 30. 3 out of 10. All right. When we had the fraction out of 10, it was easy because there were 10 parts. This time there's only 5 parts. So what are we going to do? Well, we've got 2 out of 5. If I wanted to make it out of 10, I would double the 5. So what would I have to do to the 2? I'd have to double it. What I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. So instead of 2 out of 5, that is the same as 4 out of 10. I'm hoping I might be able to show that to you on here. So we've got 2 out of 5. At the moment, having it out of 5 doesn't help me because I've got 10 parts along the bottom here. So I'm going to turn that into tenths. No, go back. There we go. To get from 5 to 10, I times by 2. I do the same to the top. So now I've got 4 out of 10. Where am I going to go? Well, the answer to that would be there. 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10. Can you do the same for that one, please? It's out of 5. Can you turn it so it's out of 10 and then find where it goes on here? Okay, so we've got at the moment 1 out of 5. We need to turn that into tenths. It's a very bad 0. Now 5 to 10 is doubled, so we do the same to the top. So that would become 2 out of 10, which would sit just there. Okay, this one here is aimed mainly at my group. We've got 1 out of 4. Also known as a quarter. What percentage would that be? You'd be right in saying, hopefully, that it's 25%. 1 quarter is the same as 25%. We'd have it in words. Where would a half be? Well, a half would point straight to the middle, 50%. If it said 70 hundredths, we would look for 70%. 9 tenths is the same as 9 over 10. I just want my whiteboard back. 9 out of 10, and that would go there. And so on. We're going to move on. So activity 3 then, for all groups, is can you take these different representations and work out where they would go on the number line? If you don't have a number line to draw, instead you could just write the percentage that they're equal to. Entirely up to you. Okay, let's have a look. So the first one here is 40%. This one here would become 6 out of 10. So that's 60%. This is 3 quarters, which is the same as 75%. 0.9 is 9 tenths or 90%. And 2 tenths is 20%. And your final activity for today, this is aimed at my group, please, is on the outside of the Venn diagram are different fractions, percentages and decimals. Here, in this circle, you put all of the ones that are only a multiple of 10. In this one, you put any that are greater than 50%. If you've got something that is a multiple of 10 and is greater than 50%, you put it in the middle. Can you have a go at sorting those to put them in the correct place, please? Okay, let's see how you got on. And those would be the answers there. Okay, thank you very much for listening. I hope to speak to you soon. Until then, stay safe. Bye.